Happy Friday, it's the weekend. Is everybody excited? Every day's the weekend for me. I'm always excited for it. Do you guys know what Marco Polo is? If you don't, I'm going to tell you. It's a great app. It's an app that I've been using for over 2 years now, and it started as a business tool, but what it's actually turned into is a really incredible tool that keeps me connected to my friends. And so it's a free app. It's called Marco Polo. It's like a little beach ball icon. And what it does is it allows you to talk to whoever you want through video messages. So it's like texting, but with a walkie-talkie. So you can listen to the videos whenever you want. And you can send messages for as long or as short as you want. And it literally, I talk to my best friends every single day. I love it. I don't know why I can't see what's happening. I see people are on. Somebody comment so I can see. It's always better when you're speaking to an audience, I think. Otherwise I'm just sitting in my car talking to myself. So I'm actually outside of a store. I need to do some errands. But I was Marco Poloing with a friend, and I was like, whatever I was telling her, I'm like, I need to go on Facebook and I need to share what's on my heart with my friends, because when you have something that you're so passionate about and you're so strong about, and you just want to share it with people, because there's always one person that's going to hear one of my messages that I put out there and is going to feel like that was the message for them today. So we were talking about things that hold us back and fears. Basically, everybody's afraid to maybe live an authentic life, or to share what's on their heart, or to say certain things. In particular, we were talking about sharing our faith journey with people. I used to be really scared to even say to people that something like, oh, I feel blessed, or I don't know why I can't see anybody. I feel so blessed today. Or I would say, just bring up God in a conversation. And I always felt like, if I talk about God too much, someone's going to think something negative about me, or they're going to misinterpret it. And, there's some really weird and negative things people can say about it. But what I've learned, and I think this comes with age, because with age, the older you get, you're like, I don't really care what people think about me. Because if you care about what people think about you, and you make decisions based on your fear of what you're going to look like or sound like, or how people are going to judge you, it's a joy sucker. And I feel like if you don't live your true authentic life, meaning you're kind to people, you're compassionate, you're empathetic, you do all those things, but you're still sharing what you're passionate about. You guys know me, I'm passionate about fitness, I'm passionate about essential oils, I'm passionate about people removing the toxic chemicals from their life. I'm passionate about my family, and I'm passionate about my faith journey, and I'm super passionate about thrifting and DIY renovations in my house. So that's kind of what you get when you follow me, right? So, but the thing I want to say is, I've been doing a lot of mindset work, because at our core, we have these core beliefs deep in our soul, in our bones, that have been instilled in us since childhood. And it's how you've been raised, right? So your grandparents' grandparents had a belief system that through the years has come down into your family, and your parents, they did the best they could with what they had to teach and educate us on their belief systems. And we take that on. But sometimes they're not always the right belief systems, right? So if you grew up in a home where money was a negative thing, you're going to grow up with this mindset that money isn't a good thing, and that you don't deserve it, and you're not worthy of it. And when you do come into money, you find a way to get rid of it right away, or spend it really quickly, because deep in your core, you do not feel worthy. And you would hear things in your home, if that's how you grew up, people that have money are greedy, and people that have money are not good, and they don't help people, and all these negative things, which is not true. Money just intensifies the person that you are truly deep down at your core. But I'm listening to I love audiobooks, because I'm not a huge reader and I don't really like to sit. So I'm in my car all the time. I listen to audiobooks. So one of the books that I'm listening to right now is Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. by T. Harv Eker, and it's an incredible book. I recommend it to everybody, but it talks about this. And the other book that I was referencing this morning when I was talking to my friend was Mel Robbins' The 5-Second Rule. And I've done the 5-second rule, except for me, it was a 3-second rule, I guess, my whole life, where you can literally talk yourself out of anything in 5 seconds, right? So if you think, I've done this so many times where like I'll be at the gym and I see somebody and I see them all the time and I'm like, I should just go and introduce myself. It could be a new friend. She seems really nice or he seems really nice. And then you're like, all of a sudden the self-doubt starts playing. Like, how come I can't see anybody, by the way? Oh, here we go. So then the self-doubt starts coming in. You're like, well, what if they don't like me? What if they think I'm weird for walking up to them? Like, what if they don't like me, right? It's all this fear. So in 5 seconds, you can literally talk yourself out of anything. So Mel Robbins wrote this book about it. It's phenomenal. She's got a ton of YouTube channels and things. I think she's got a show on some network now. But the mindset that you have about, or even the emotion in our brain, the science side of it, I'm not a scientist, so I'm probably going to butcher this, but when you feel excitement or you feel nervousness, that chemical reaction in your brain is identical. So you can actually choose the way you want to feel. So I do a lot of public speaking. I love it. I love being on stage, and I just feel like I love this saying, from God through me to you. So whatever I hear, like that voice in my head, that inner dialogue, which I realize some people don't have. I think that's crazy because I don't know how it works for the people that don't have an inner dialogue. But that inner dialogue, which, you could say it's a number of things. You could say, for me, I believe it's God talking to me. Some people call it their intuition. Some people just think it's their thoughts. Whatever your belief system is, doesn't matter. But when I hear these words and these things coming to me and they're good, I'm like, and I get excited about it and my heart starts racing, I know I have to share it with people. And so I feel like that is a gift that I've been given that I need to share with people. So Sean and I have been really blessed to be invited to actually, people actually pay us. They want to hear us speak and tell our story, which is crazy. I only dreamed that this was ever an option. So next week we're flying out to Calgary to go and speak in an event. It's not a Young Living event, but it's Young Living people, and that's how they kind of know us. They follow us, and we just get to share our story and talk about our struggles, our strategies, the things that we've done to get through what we've gone through, and how we kind of all make it work with our business, our marriage, addiction, recovery, and all those things. And it's so cool that we are able to share that. And I just think back, so Sean's been sober for it'll be 10 years this year, which is really exciting. This June or September, I think, August, somewhere in there. Anyways, and end of the summer. And it's crazy. So there's people pulling up and they're going to see me talking to my car and wonder what the heck's going on. But it's so crazy because I remember at the beginning, I live in a really small town. Those of you that know me, we have 2 stoplights. And so I was shamed by people to my face about my husband's addiction. Even though he was getting help, even though he was getting better, people had the audacity to shame me. And if you want to learn more about shaming, and I highly recommend this to anybody, is educate yourself on shaming, because I did it and I didn't even know I was doing it. Brene Brown is a fantastic, phenomenal author. All of her books are amazing, and they're all about shaming. And so people would shame me and say things like, come up to me and be like, oh, you poor girl, I don't know how you do it. I don't really have a choice. So I was always afraid of what people would think of me because of something that my spouse was doing. And I was afraid to talk about it. I never talked about it. It was embarrassing to me. There were days I didn't want to leave the house because of it. But then here's my spouse who's getting better and is taught in the program he's involved in. Any friends of Bill and Bob out there know that you need to share your journey with people, because what you have gone through and your experience, sharing that can actually help somebody else. And it's said that in the Bible too, that when you have an experience or the word of the Lord, you need to share that with people because it can help somebody. You need to talk about your story. Anything that's happened to you in your life, whether you think is good or it's bad, it needs to be shared with people, because I think it's going to help somebody. The right people are going to hear it. You're going to attract the right people. So as my husband's sharing more and more and more of his journey about his recovery journey, I'm like feeling small and going, I can't believe you just told that person. And then I was feeling embarrassed. And over time, what I learned was, and what I observed was, he's sharing his story, and I was like, wow, it's actually helping people, and it's helping him in his recovery. That's pretty cool. And they're not judging or shaming him for it. And I mean, it happens still, but you know, that's life. And I think it's just, people just don't understand it, right? And so I started sharing more and more of my journey, my perspective, and my side of the relationship with his addiction and recovery. And you know, what was crazy is like people actually wanted to listen, and it actually helped other women that were in the same position that I was in. And I only, you know, and for me, when I was going through it, the program I was involved with, there was women like calling me and telling me about their story, which somehow made me feel better. There's this thing with a Me Too, you know, have you ever like gone to the, like somewhere like a grocery store, and you just start talking to somebody, and all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, me too, you know, or you see them and you're like, oh, they have kids too. Like, that's a Me Too. That's what connects us to each other. That's how we attract what you are, right? So you're like the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you're hanging around with really crappy people, negative people, you're probably going to feel negative all the time. So it's really good to do an inventory of that. And so the more I started letting go of the fear of what people were going to think of me, because that's a joy sucker and that's not good. Like, it's none of my business what other people think of me. That's one of the best sayings I've ever heard. I'm not amazing, Gary. I'm just honest and authentic. But thank you. I'll take it. I should take it. Thank you. And I hope that when we share that, it actually inspires you guys to do the same thing, that it inspires you to be authentic, and don't worry about what other people think. It doesn't matter. It doesn't serve us. You know, if you keep setting expectations and situations in your life, you are going to be disappointed all the time. When we set expectations, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Quote me on that. I say that all the time. I have a few sayings, which you will see more and more of as they come. But when you set expectations for anything, you set yourself up for disappointment. Okay, and then like hope is a totally different thing. I remember the other day, Sean said to me something about, we were talking about God and faith and our journeys, and I really dove into it. And somebody asked me the other day, like, why have you dove into your faith journey so hard lately? I'm like, because with the grief of losing my dad 7 months ago, this is the thing that actually is making me feel human again, and it's giving me purpose again. And it's so amazing. And I think it was always right there for me, but my perception of what God was, or what I was supposed to do as a Christian, was really kind of altered because of the way that I grew up. So I've kind of learned to be authentic in that journey, and to share that as I feel comfortable. And you know, I read the Bible every day, 1 page a day, hashtag 1 page a day. And I'm learning so much, you guys. Like, you have no idea how much stuff that you love, that you hear, the advice you get is like in that book. It's amazing. Who knew? So, anyways, so we were talking about it because his version of God and my version of God are 2 totally different things. And he's like, and I don't know where he got this idea, but he's like, I want you just to give up hope that I'm going to believe in God the way that you do. And I said, I respect how you believe in God. It's totally fine. I just want you to always keep an open mind, just as I will, and listen to other people's perceptions and ideas. And that's how we learn. And we don't judge people on that. We just listen, learn, and accept, and all the things. And I said to him, if I give up hope, if I had given up hope, we would not still be married today. And he's like, kind of had like that jaw drop moment, like, whoa. And it was a kind of a jaw drop moment for me too, because, you know, it was the one thing, hope was the one thing that I never gave up on. I never gave up on the fact that the man that I fell in love with was under that mess somewhere of whatever he was going through, that he had a disease, that it wasn't his fault, that he was struggling so hard. And I never gave up hope, even though I went to bed crying almost every single night for years. that he put our family in danger, that he put me through things like I just don't even like to talk about, but that's the reality. And but the one thing I never gave up was hope. And I think if we can continue to believe in the people that we love, but not with expectation that they're going to ever be the thing that we want them to be, then it makes the journey a little bit easier, and it helps you be a little bit more compassionate and empathetic to them. And those two things are super important too. So I don't know if any of this makes sense to anybody, but it's just stuff I was talking about today. I'm like, I need to share that because like Candace said, I'm great, Candace, you're on here. I love you. That you needed to hear that today. So, maybe we don't have the same journeys and you haven't been affected by the same things, but we all have crap. We all have luggage. There's all stuff that we suppress. And I'm working so hard on forgiveness. Forgiveness allows us to live a happier life if we could just learn to forgive people and let go of resentments and all the things. They don't serve us. They don't help us. And what's the what do they say? Like, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, that is literally the definition of insanity. So take inventory, mindset work, look at your core beliefs, read some of the books that I talked about, and, share your journey with other people, whatever that is. I'm never going to stop talking about fitness, essential oils, thrifting, God, my family. I'll never stop talking about those things because they're important to me and they create so much value in my life. And hey, if I can make a living doing the thing that I love, I think that's such an amazing gift. Like when I see today, I was talking to a guy in the gym and he's like, I'm like, how's your weekend going? Are you going to have a good weekend? He's like, I got to work. I'm like, oh, do you like your job? He's like, it's a job. I'm like, that's too bad. And he goes, what do you do? I'm like, I love my job. I have the best boss in the world. She's awesome. It's me. And I teach people how to get rid of chemicals out of their lives and use essential oils and be their best self and inspire them in any way that I can. And I just love it. And every day is a weekend for me. So anyways, I hope you guys do have a great weekend. I'll be painting, birthday partying with my soon-to-be 11-year-old child. And then I love my new church that I started going to in the fall. They just changed the name from Calvary to Movement Church. It's in Woodstock, Ontario. They have 3 services, 9, 10:30, and 12, and it is no church like you've ever seen before. It's amazing. It's like a concert, and I get there and I never want to leave it. The people are amazing. The message is amazing. You can check them out on Instagram and Facebook, and hey, you could even join me and see what it's all about because it's pretty freaking awesome. I feel like it's my second home. I love it there. So on that note, thank you for listening. Thank you for always just supporting me and everything that I do, you guys. It means so much to me, honestly. And Sean's like, why are you on social media all the time? Like, just not like going at me, but he really wanted to know. He asked questions because he wants to learn. Why are you on social media all the time? I'm like, it's what keeps me connected to my people. Otherwise, I would be in my house and never leave and become a hermit. And that's not healthy for anybody. So, okay, I'm going to finish my errands. Have a great day. Have a blessed day. I'm sending each and every one of you love, and I will pray for each and every one of you that you have a magnificent day full of joy, love, and just amazingness.